In a world marked by evolving political landscapes and shifting power dynamics, nuclear weaponry remains a pivotal determinant of a nation's global status and security. In our examination of nuclear arsenals worldwide, it's apparent that these lethal tools of deterrence and potential destruction persistently influence international relations and discussions surrounding peace and safety. Despite numerous disarmament agreements and efforts to reduce worldwide nuclear stockpiles, these weapons continue to pose significant threats to international security and peace. In this video, we shall explore the countries with the highest number of nuclear weapons in 2024. Number 9. North Korea. North Korea has a military nuclear weapons program and, as of 2024, is estimated to have an arsenal of approximately 50 nuclear weapons and sufficient production of fissile material for 6 to 7 nuclear weapons per year. North Korea has also stockpiled a significant quantity of chemical and biological weapons. In 2003, North Korea withdrew from the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or NPT. Since 2006, the country has conducted 6 nuclear tests at increasing levels of expertise, prompting the imposition of sanctions. In 2023, the North Korean legislature voted to enshrine the country's pursuit of nuclear weapons into its constitution. The nuclear force-building policy has been made permanent as the basic law of the state, which no one is allowed to flout with anything, said Kim Jong-un, North Korea's supreme leader. As of 2024, North Korea has spent an estimated $900 million to build and maintain its nuclear forces. Number 8. Israel. The state of Israel is widely believed to possess nuclear weapons. Estimates of Israel's stockpile stand at 90 nuclear warheads, and the country is believed to possess the ability to deliver them in several methods, including by aircraft, as submarine-launched cruise missiles, and via the Jericho series of intermediate to intercontinental range ballistic missiles. Its first deliverable nuclear weapon is thought to have been completed in late 1966 or early 1967, which would make it the 6th country in the world to have developed them. Israel maintains a policy of deliberate ambiguity, never officially denying nor admitting to having nuclear weapons, instead repeating over the years that Israel will not be the first country to introduce nuclear weapons to the Middle East. However, in November 2023, amid the Israel-Hamas war, the junior heritage minister, Amihai Eliyahu, publicly called for dropping a nuclear bomb over Gaza, which some took to be a tacit admission that Israel possesses such a capability. However, Prime Minister Netanyahu reprimanded and suspended the minister in question. It is believed that Israel conducted a nuclear test with South Africa in 1979 over the ocean between the southern part of Africa and the Antarctic. A report in 2024 estimates that Israel has spent an amount of $1.1 billion so far in building and maintaining its nuclear forces. Number 7. Pakistan. Pakistan began developing nuclear weapons in January 1972 under Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who delegated the program to the chairman of the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, Munir Ahmad Khan, with a commitment to having the device ready by the end of 1976. This was a result of its defeat in the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War, and India's first nuclear test in 1974. Since PAC, which consisted of over 20 laboratories and projects under reactor physicist Munir Ahmad Khan, was falling behind schedule and having considerable difficulty producing fissile material, Abdul Qadir Khan, a metallurgist working on centrifuge enrichment for Urenco, joined the program at the behest of the Bhutto administration by the end of 1974. Producing fissile material was pivotal to the Kahuta project's success, and thus to Pakistan obtaining the capability to detonate a nuclear weapon by the end of 1984. The Pakistani government does not publicly disclose the size of its arsenal, but the country is estimated to have 170 nuclear warheads. A report in 2024 states that Pakistan has spent an estimated value of $1 billion on its nuclear development and maintenance. Number 6. India. Although India has not released any official statements about the size of its nuclear arsenal, Recent estimates suggest that India has 172 nuclear weapons and has produced enough weapons-grade plutonium for up to 200 nuclear weapons. In 1999, India was estimated to have 800 kilograms, that is, 1,800 pounds of separated reactor-grade plutonium, with a total amount of 8,300 kilograms, that is, 18,300 pounds of civilian plutonium, enough for approximately 1,000 nuclear weapons. India has conducted nuclear weapons tests in a pair of series, namely Pokhran-1 and Pokhran-2. India maintains a no first-use nuclear policy and has developed a nuclear triad capability as a part of its minimum credible deterrence doctrine. India's nuclear weapons spending in 2024 has been estimated to be around $2.7 billion. Number 5. United Kingdom. In 1952, the United Kingdom became the third country after the United States and the Soviet Union to develop and test nuclear weapons, and is one of the 5 nuclear weapon states under the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. The UK initiated a nuclear weapons program codenamed Tube Alloys during the Second World War. At the Quebec Conference in August 1943, it was merged with the American Manhattan Project. The British government considered nuclear weapons to be a joint discovery, but the American Atomic Energy Act of 1946, McMahon Act, restricted other countries, including the UK, from access to information about nuclear weapons. Fearing the loss of Britain's great power status, the UK resumed its own project, now codenamed High Explosive Research. On October 3, 1952, it detonated an atomic bomb in the Montebello Islands in Australia in Operation Hurricane. 11 more British nuclear weapons tests in Australia were carried out over the following decade, including 7 British nuclear tests at Maralinga in 1956 and 1957. As of 2024, the UK has a stockpile of 225 nuclear weapons, with 120 deployed, even though it had announced in 2021 that it would increase its stockpile to a maximum of 260 warheads. So far, the United Kingdom has spent approximately $8.1 billion on its nuclear program. Number 4. France. As of 2024, France possesses approximately 290 nuclear warheads, most of which are designed for delivery by submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, with the remainder affixed to air-launched cruise missiles, ALCMs, carried by strategic bombers. France was the 4th country to test an independently developed nuclear weapon, doing so in 1960 under the government of Charles de Gaulle. The weapons are part of the country's force de dissuasion, developed in the late 1950s and 1960s to give France the ability to distance itself from NATO while having a means of nuclear deterrence under sovereign control. It is estimated that France has spent around $6.1 billion building and maintaining its nuclear weapons. Number 3. China. China's nuclear weapons program is one of the largest and fastest modernization campaigns among the world's nuclear-armed states. China's nuclear strategy is to deter other nuclear-armed states through assured retaliation, which means China would be able to survive a first strike and retaliate. The Chinese nuclear weapons program was initiated on January 15, 1955. The decision made by the Chinese leadership was prompted by confrontations with the United States in the 1950s, including the Korean War, the 1955 Taiwan Straits Crisis, nuclear blackmail, and eventually the Vietnam War as well. Known as Project 596, the first nuclear weapons test conducted by the People's Republic of China detonated on October 16, 1964, at the Lop Nur test site. It was a uranium-235 implosion fission device made from weapons-grade uranium enriched in a gaseous diffusion plant in Lanzhou. The atomic bomb was a part of China's 2 bombs, 1 satellite program. It had a yield of 22 kilotons, comparable to the Soviet Union's first nuclear bomb, RDS-1 in 1949, and the American Fat Man bomb dropped on Nagasaki, Japan, in 1945. With the test, China became the 5th nuclear power in the world and the first Asian nation to possess nuclear capability. This was the first of 45 successful nuclear tests China conducted between 1964 and 1996, all of which occurred at the Lop Nur test site. As it stands, it is estimated that China now possesses roughly 500 nuclear warheads, with more in production to arm future delivery systems. China, as of 2024, has spent around $11.9 billion on its nuclear program, in building and maintaining. Number 2. United States. The United States was the first country to manufacture nuclear weapons, and is the only country to have used them in combat, with the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II against Japan. Before and during the Cold War, it conducted 1,054 nuclear tests, and tested many long-range nuclear weapons delivery systems. Until November 1962, the vast majority of U.S. nuclear tests were above ground. After the acceptance of the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, all testing was relegated underground, in order to prevent the dispersion of nuclear fallout. In 2019, the U.S. and Russia possessed a comparable number of nuclear warheads. Together, these two nations possess more than 90% of the world's nuclear weapons stockpile. As of 2024, it was estimated that the United States held 1,770 deployed warheads, 2,083 in reserve, and 1,697 retired and awaiting dismantlement, in total, 5,550 nuclear warheads. The spending of the United States in building and maintaining its nuclear program stands at a whopping $51.5 billion, highest among all the nuclear countries. Number 1. Russia. Russia's nuclear weapons program includes a triad of strategic delivery vehicles, a large stockpile of tactical nuclear warheads, and a modernizing nuclear infrastructure. Russia deploys the majority of its strategic nuclear warheads on ICBMs. A separate Russian military service, the Strategic Rocket Forces, commands these silo-based and mobile ICBMs. Russia can field most of its ICBMs and all of its SLBMs with multiple warheads on each missile, according to a non-governmental source. Russia possesses a total of 6,257 nuclear warheads as of 2024, the largest confirmed stockpile of nuclear warheads in the world. Russia's deployed missiles, those actually ready to be launched, number about 1,910, also the largest confirmed strategically deployed arsenal in the world as of 2024. The remaining weapons are either in reserve stockpiles or have been retired and are slated for dismantling. Russia's predecessor state, the Soviet Union, reached a peak stockpile of about 45,000 nuclear warheads in 1986. In terms of spending, Russia has used an estimated amount of $8.3 billion in building and maintaining its nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons are the most inhumane and indiscriminate weapons ever created. They violate international law, cause severe environmental damage, undermine national and global security, and divert vast public resources away from meeting human needs. They must be eliminated urgently. A single nuclear warhead could kill hundreds of thousands of people with lasting and devastating humanitarian and environmental consequences. We hope none of these nations will use any of its nuclear weapons. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like the video and share. Subscribe to the channel to enjoy exciting videos.